right, welcome back in. No, I should be welcoming myself back in to the Daily Fix. Welcome in to the Daily Fix with your host Ron Hughley. You see my guy there, Steve Serta, in the little box. And Steve, I gotta give you a shout out. We can clap it up, everybody. Clap it up. Steve was able to hold down the Daily Fix as your boy was in a bad place now. Your boy was in a bad place. I'll tell you here in just a second. First thing I want to do is thank everybody for taking us in and everybody taking us in when Steve was holding it down last week. As we continue to grow, we are the fastest slash slowest growing digital platform there is out there today. The Daily Fix, which is presented by Foolish Club Media. However, you're taking us in, if you're listening to us on Twitter, we sure enough appreciate you. If you're listening to us on YouTube, we sure enough appreciate you as well. What I do need you to do is to please head to our YouTube channel, Foolish Club Media, and like and subscribe. And if you do not do so, you are preventing my 3 children from eating. So please help us out. And again, as I said, Steve was holding it down. Yeah, your boy had to have a little emergency surgery last Tuesday. And listen, fellas out there, ladies too. I know we got an array of listeners, but fellas out there, please don't be like your boy. And as I've turned 40, I'm trying to get better at it. Like, hey man, you got problems with your body, don't just try to tough that sucker out. Especially if it's problems with your body that exceed a little bit more than normal, that over the counter ain't holding it down. Go get it checked out. Man, I have been dealing with what I have self-diagnosed as acid reflux. Now, maybe it's a little bit of acid reflux in there, but I'm not sure now. But I self-diagnosed that, and I've been dealing with it pretty strong, sir. You know it for a couple of years now. We've had conversations off of this, and it got so bad last Tuesday. I told Corey, I said, "Man, we got to go. We got to go." I was like, "We got to go to the ER or urgent care is where we tried to start." And I went to urgent care. They immediately said, "Yeah, you need to go to the ER because we don't have the help for that pain." Went into that ER, and I'm telling you what, Jack, it happened so fast. They hit me with that morphine. I still had some pain. Went in, had a little did like a little MRI or whatever. They came back, and in 5 minutes, they told your boy, "Hey, looks like the gallbladder's the culprit. We're gonna have to go ahead and get that thing out, and hopefully we can do that today or tomorrow." I said, "Whoa, I've never had surgery. Hold on now, slow down." So
yeah,
I had to get that. It was not the self-diagnosed acid reflux. It was gallbladder stones.
it's
Continue to get stuck.
I didn't want to like give away too much because I was waiting for you to be able to explain your absence, but I kept just being weird about it because I didn't know what to say. I'd be like, I don't know. He may be back soon. I don't really know when he's going to be able to return, but we'll figure it out. And Ron will be back shortly, I hope.
Woo, yeah, I know I miss showing BK. I appreciate BK. You all holding it down, but yeah, it wasn't acid reflux. It was them stones, and they pulled it out and said I had a whole bunch of stones in there. So hopefully that rectifies the problem. But I am back and I am good for this special sports day in Kansas City and everything as we do here on the Daily Fix. The Royals, they got a big one tonight, game 2 in Yankee Stadium, try to even that thing up, and obviously the Chiefs play it a little bit later on. So Kansas City's got to really struggle with the Royals and the Chiefs going at the same time basically today. But I won't hold you long. I won't hold you long because it is a big day in Kansas City sports. I got to talk about something that really jumped on me yesterday. Is we've been able to watch football without the Chiefs, and it really has jumped on to me here in Week 5. Also, other options with the receiver situation, other options that we could look at with the receiver situation. But I want to start here tonight as the Chiefs look to get to 5-0 to match what the Vikings have done, and they play Monday Night Football against the Saints team that you don't really know about because they've had some really, really highs, really nice highs, and had some lows there too. So they're 2-2. They're coming in, and the Chiefs will try to get to 5-0 facing them. But Steve, I know it probably starts tonight, and I know you have said this. I've listened to you and Rocky on the postgame. Make sure you listen to those fellas tonight on the postgame after this game ends. But I just cannot accept that the Chiefs are just going to be a defensive team like they were last year.
Accept it.
No,
We've got lots of proof now at this point of what they are.
no, you can accept it. I will not. Okay, I am not just going to accept that this is I'm not throwing in the towel, Steve, to just sit here and say this is another get to 20 by any means necessary. Whether that is several field goals, whether that is some safeties and field goals, whatever it is, get to 20 and figure it out. No, I just don't want to believe that. Not when you have Mahomes, you have Andy, and even this version of Travis with Worthy. I know Pacheco is out, but Kareem Hunt has looked a little bit better. They've run the ball a little bit better. Not when you have those three guys up front, the best center in football, maybe the best interior three in football. I just cannot accept it, Steve. And I know I probably should. And I know tonight that might be the way that Andy and this offense starts to go about things. But look, because Lord knows they took a turn last year where they did it. But damn it, there is just, please, just be in, a top 10 level offense. I thought this year they had a chance to be the number one offense, but like a top 10 level offense. I just still believe that is doable. And I think they will make some moves to add to the receiver room. We'll see what happens with Rashee Rice. But Steve, I'm just not accepting it. I am still crossing my fingers and holding out hope that they got 30 in them. I'm just crossing my fingers and holding out hope that they could get 27. Don't you start raining on my parade. I just am not going to accept it.
I don't know. I mean, the Saints have a pretty good secondary, so not having Rashee Rice in this game is a little worrisome. And we have a full calendar year regular season from last year and now the Chiefs offense looks pretty much the same, except that they have Xavier Worthy on top of what they had last season. So they're a defensive team until if they get Rashee Rice back, cool. Maybe I'll buy a little bit more into the offense, or maybe Andy Reid's got something up his sleeve and a game plan that's really going to blow us away tonight. But this team is a defensive first team, and I don't think it's change anytime soon.
Well, that's the part. Two things right there, and we'll revisit this tomorrow. Andy Reid has to start calling real game plans and not, hey, I'm just doing this because I'm going to save some stuff game plans. And Patrick Mahomes, and I've said it for a couple of years now, Patrick Mahomes also needs to start playing like he is the best player in football, right? Like if those two things can come about, I believe that the Chiefs can get to that space. All right, speaking of Rashee Rice, as you talked about it, like the Chiefs are going to be looking, and it's already been reported over the weekend from Adam Schefter, they're going to be looking to try to add a receiver. And I agree with that. I'm not so certain how high. We talked about it last week before I bit the dust, that maybe, guys like Amari Cooper, DeAndre Hopkins, there's some options out there. And it looks like the Chiefs are looking at that. But there is one option we have not really addressed. And Steve, maybe you have. All right, I was in the hospital. Maybe you have. But I don't think a lot of people have looked at this. Can Xavier Worthy, in his own way, in his game, right? His game is different from Rashee Rice's. But can Xavier Worthy take a jump in his rookie year in the way that Rashee Rice took a jump? Because as you said, I agree, this team is a lot similar to last year, except right now, I think there's more confidence in terms of sure-handedness with like Juju and Watson and some of those guys, but you have Worthy in there. And Rashee Rice was a rookie as well last year, and it took him some time. Hell, it took Andy and the Chiefs some time to trust him to put him in the game and give him enough snaps to get to it. But at some point, Rashee Rice grew last year in his rookie year, and we got to the second half of the season and into the postseason, he was clearly the weapon that you needed and clearly grew in his game to be in that. Can Xavier Worthy do that? Is that a realistic option to think that Xavier Worthy, as we saw a little bit, he makes the big play down the field against the Chargers, which is the big part of his game that's different from Rashee Rice. And then when they had to have it, they couldn't pull it off the previous week to get him a first down against the Falcons. But when they had to have it, they ran that crosser, which we have seen Rashee kill a lot, and he ran it easy and created immediate separation, and that was a different route that we've seen him run now. can that be an option, a realistic option to see that Xavier Worthy develops in the way that Rashee Rice did last year? I think that is a realistic option. Although I still think you need to make a move, I think that is a realistic option, though.
Yeah, he's not going to be a 1-for-1 replacement for Rashee Rice. Like Xavier Worthy's just not built to go over the middle of the field and break tackles the way that Rashee Rice can. I think that's going to be Juju's role moving forward here until we get some kind of definitive answer on Rashee Rice. But yeah, I think it's just, can he be more than just take the top off the defense a couple times a game guy? Can he be actually worked in the offense where the Chiefs go out of their way to get him 10 touches a game or something like that, or 10 opportunities a game? Because he hasn't been close to that yet. And I don't know how they figure that out, but it's got to be more like along the lines of like McCole Hardman's rookie year, Tyreek Hill's rookie year. Like, can we just manufacture touches for Worthy and get him into space and utilize his insane speed? Because I don't think we've really seen the Chiefs do that so far, aside from a couple of big plays down the field.
That's why I said in his own way, not developed to what Rashee Rice was. No, he's not. They're different type of players. Like in my mind, you remember like the Mike Wallaces of the world with the Steelers that had that speed. That's like, but he impacted the game. Like all number one wide receivers aren't built the same, right? They do different things, right? Can his game start to look like a Tyler Lockett or something like that, where he develops and he impacts the game in his way, right? And you have other things because I mean, Rashee Rice, whether he was across the middle and run after the catch, or in this case, somebody who is down the field, somebody who can create separation and make big plays, that kind of impact. I think there's still a space that Xavier Worthy's development, like it did happen for Rashee Rice last year, in their own ways, could be an option and an answer. All right, I finally want to go here, and this can happen when your team has a bye week, when the Chiefs has a bye week, which we'll look at next week, and we'll see more when your team plays on Monday night, and you get to concentrate and kind of just watch football. And I've been thinking about this for like the last several weeks, and I'm serious when I throw this out, Steve. Like how good are these teams this year? How good of football are we watching? Mike, I don't think there is any kind of team out there right now that we would look at and say, great. You know what I mean? And I'm just looking at this and I'm like, there's not a lot of good football teams. There's not, like, if we look at the top, the Chiefs are 4-0 with a chance to go to 5-0 if they can win tonight. The Vikings, they won yesterday to go 5-0. And then you look at the Texans and the Lions have one loss. The Commanders have one loss. The Ravens have 2 losses. I think people think are highly thought of. The Bills were highly thought of. Steve, I don't think any of those teams would be looked at as Super Bowl contenders in some of these past NFL seasons. It is just weird the level of football that we're seeing where even the Chiefs I looked at and was like, all right, man, they're a team that just is kind of playing their way through in the important games. They'll flip the switch. And I think there is some of that there. But, Steve, man, you start losing Rashee Rice, you start losing Isaiah Pacheco, you start losing Hollywood Brown. You've already benched your starting left tackle 2 games into the year. Like, that team's not as good as some of the other teams we have watched here recently. And I mean, I just don't think there are any great teams whatsoever in the National Football League. And I think these teams are at the top. The Steelers were a stop away from going to 4-1 in this league, and they're not good. Right? This is a weird season. I don't think we have any good football teams.
Yeah, it's been really hard
comparative to good football teams, Steve. Comparative to good football teams we've seen in the past, like the Ravens and the Niners from last year. There's nobody on that level.
It's just been a weird, unpredictable NFL season so far. Like upsets like crazy, tons of injuries across the league. And I was talking to my friend about this, like just like strictly like gambling. Like I tend to prepare a lot for each NFL week and dive into matchups and stuff. And I feel like it's been totally unpredictable on a week-to-week basis this year. Like The 49ers, I still think, are one of the most talented teams in football, and they're not playing good football right now. They look more like the regular season Chiefs than the 49ers that we're used to. I think
And with
the
with their
Vikings
injuries, they're not good.
Yeah, and I think the Vikings are a legitimately good football team on offense and on defense, like one of the more well-rounded teams in the NFL right now. That's why they're still undefeated. But then it's like, can Sam Darnold do that when the games really matter? I think Detroit, who has been a little bit up and down to start the season, is one of the best teams in football.
But you're about to ask the same question. But you're also going to ask the same question of their quarterback. Like, if we start looking at these teams with the quarterbacks they have, like right now, Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings have a legit shot to win it all. Right now, Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions have a legit shot to win it all.
I think the Packers are really good too. I think these NFC North teams look really good so far.
I think they are. Like, but then they lose to that Philadelphia Eagles outfit. And like the Eagles are like, I thought Tampa was good. Then they go give up 509 yards to Kirk Cousins.
And I think the Texans are a very good team, but it feels like it's not clicking on offense yet.
No,
the same way that it did last year.
They have take them too. Like they've had some injuries too, but they don't, like you said, it's not clicking, man. They had Buffalo at home. He completed 9 for 30 for 131, and he was awful. It's maybe the worst game Josh Allen ever played without his top receiver, without Ed Oliver. And they had to have the coaching staff for the Bills just go brain dead. Josh Allen just go brain dead, and a 59-yard field goal beat him on the road. Right? Like, and that's one of the better teams, right? Like, they almost lost to Jacksonville. Like, they've been dodging big play bullets for weeks. Every single week, someone's running free in the secondary, and the Texans seem to have this innate ability to force quarterbacks to not be able to hit wide open wide receivers down the field for touchdowns. Craziest thing, huh, Mom?